My name is Jennifer. I am from the Netherlands and I have been in Ghana for a little over 2 years, since September 2019. I came to Ghana for the first time 8 years ago in 2013. And I was a volunteer. Like this white girl comes to Ghana to save, or comes to Africa to save the continent girl. That was me. So I stayed for 2 months, and then I met other people. So the years after, I kept on visiting them, and I started traveling around the country. I've done an internship in Accra here for 3 months. Then once I was part of a business program by the Dutch government. Yeah, and so on and so on. And now we are here.
Yeah.
That was actually after my studies. I finished my studies in August 2019, and because I had before been 10 times to Ghana, I was like, okay, so now I'm free to go, no school anymore. What am I gonna do? And then I was like, okay, I've been to Ghana 10 times, but always less than 3 months. So I never knew how it would be really living in Ghana, because by the time I was feeling okay now, well, 3 months is very short. By the time, I would also always know I'm going home. So I'm going back home. So there's always an ending date. And then I decided in 3 weeks that I would just go to Ghana and try and see how it works, to find a job there, to be there for a longer time, because all that information wasn't really clear to me. So I just decided to go and then see how long I would make it. So I had a plan for 3 months, and then I stayed. Then also the pandemic happened, which made me decide to stay actually. That was also part of why I'm still here. I just decided then that I wanted to stay. We met. He runs bike tours in Accra on Sundays. He still does that, and I did that for the first time in November 2018. And he's like the tour guide. He's doing everything. He does the marketing and everything. So he's also the tour guide. And we kept in contact, just now and then. How are you? Because I left the country again. On WhatsApp. How are you? How's business? How's this? And then I was planning a trip back, and we met again, and we started dating. We started our relationship. I went back to the Netherlands for 4 months, and then it was September 2019 when I decided to come back for on a one-way ticket. So we met while I was his customer. And I was never really thinking about living in Accra. That never crossed my mind. When I was living in other spaces for a couple of weeks, I would always be okay, how would it be to live here? I couldn't really imagine. I couldn't imagine what kind of job I would do or something But having my boyfriend, he's born and raised in Accra, so he knows things around here. Made it first and for all. That's why we are living in Accra. But also moving to Ghana. It also made it easier to make that decision. Also because he doesn't want to live in the Netherlands or in Europe. We haven't visited yet, also because of the pandemic. And we will visit, but we will probably never live there. I think what attracted me in him was his entrepreneurial spirit, setting up these bike tours. This was 3 years ago. He also just started. Of course, a lot of people will say oh, bike tours in Accra, that's dangerous, nobody wants to do that, it's hot, it's this, but he still did it anyway. He believed in his idea, and also he's setting up some other projects that he really believes in. It's more he really believes in himself, and that he can do that, and just the ideas he has, and the fact that he wants to stay in Ghana, because he thinks you don't have to go abroad to have a nice life, you can have a nice life here. I think that's what's really attractive, and of course he's sweet, and these the things that everybody would say about his or her partner or their partner. but I think that at first was like after doing the bike tour, that's I think why we stayed in contact. And then later when we talked more, like we like to talk about like, I don't know, things that happen in politics or how the education system works, or that he has a clear vision about what he would like to change. And it's not like in a way like, oh yeah, I know like the country has some downsides, but we just leave it like that. I can't change it. I can't do anything about that. He's like trying to do as much as he can to change like just the mentality of people in general, his own mentality, and putting things in place. It's interesting, especially I think mentally. Some days I'm feeling like I'm rocking it, like I just go out, like I take a lot of public transportation on my own in Accra, but also when I go somewhere outside Accra, or even like hours out of Accra. Like in my traveling days I would go to the north on my own, but I haven't been there in a while because yeah, now we live here, so I travel less. So some days I would be like, okay, I can just go to the market, I can get what I want, I can speak a little of the Twi language or the local language, and some days I'm in my house and I'm like, okay, I have to go, I'm hungry, I have to eat something, I have to go outside, but it sounds so difficult to go outside, to talk to people, to English is also not even my first language, so yeah, that as well, like I have to interact with a lot of people, and yeah, just that. Yeah, but just in general,
Yeah.
I think it's been good, like ups and downs, like what everybody has, I think. Yeah. Yes, so after some visits to Ghana, at first, like after the volunteer work, and then some visits I would stay with families, and then sometimes I go like for a weekend for travel. And then I started to discover that I can actually travel on my own. And that's where I went like all out. That's when I've been, I think, to most of the like popular destinations, and a lot of places that I can't even put on the map because I don't know where they are, but just like meeting people and they're like, oh, I know this nice place, you should come and visit, but it's not in a tour guide book or anything, so I will never, unfortunately, never find them again. Yeah, and then after some time I was thinking like, how can I still come to Ghana but not spend a lot of money, especially on flight tickets. So I thought, okay, if I organize a group tour to Ghana, like people from abroad sign up, we all come together, and then we travel around for like 3 weeks, 2 weeks, and that will cover my own cost. I can travel in Ghana, I can come, I can still see some of my friends along the way, of course. Yeah, so I started that group tour actually never happened yet. I mean, with the language cafe we also do tours now, so still I kind of do the same. Like sometimes you start something and then you feel like it doesn't happen, but later in your life maybe it will still come back after you. So I still do it, but yeah. And then when I was promoting this group tour, people also came to me like, oh, I'm actually like, I don't want to be part of the group tour, but I just want to go to Ghana. Can you help me out with making a program for me, because you have been to so many places. So yeah, then I started doing that. So once in a while now I have people who are coming to Ghana and I help them like, oh, you can go to this hotel, I can link you up with a tour guide. It's more like I would like to, with these particular tours, that I just link people up with the right people. Instead of me going as the tour guides, in this case you just get a day by day, also like an ebook, something like program. And you just follow it, and yeah. I think I can't remember even all of them, but I think one of my favorites is when I went to the north. I've actually not been a lot of times in the north, but the second time when I went there, I was supposed to travel there for a week. But then I met some people, and yeah, like I traveled by public transportation, and they explained to me like the public transportation, it doesn't really work like that as in the south. But then I met somebody and said, okay, I can also bring you what you wanted to do in that 1 week. We can also do it in 1 day on my motorbike. So he came to my hotel, picked me up the next day, and we did almost the same thing. Actually, we still skipped some things, so I have to go back, but I have to do that anyway. And he just, like, we just drove to the places I wanted to visit, and there was like one area between Bogatanga and Sirigu. He took like an inside road because there's like the highway kind of like carway, but he took like an in road, and there wasn't so much there, but it was just like so nice, like almost like we were in a movie. Like people didn't bother that we were there. It was like almost like I was watching a movie and nobody cared. Like we were just driving there, and it was just like completely different, of course, from first of all from Accra, but also just from what I've ever seen. Like very flat, like sometimes like a house here and there, sometimes like a tree here and there, but it was really nice. That's like, I think, just in general, I like my motor trips a lot. I like being on the back of the motor. I don't drive myself, and just like enjoy around and feel free. I think that makes it different with a car. That's on a motorbike, you feel really free. But I think that was like one of my, but I have many, and it's mainly yeah. This one I'm gonna disappoint a lot of people. My favorite is omutuo, rice bowl with groundnut soup. Jollof, of course, but that one, yeah, I'm gonna disappoint people who say it's not from Ghana, which is true, but sometimes I like fufu, but I am vegetarian, so most of the times if you go to a restaurant, they already prepared the soup with meat, and even if they remove the meat, it doesn't make sense. So I have to, like, it's when I'm with friends and they know like I don't eat it, or there's a couple of vegan restaurants in Accra, and then when they have fufu on the menu, I can also take it. And yeah, I think like by far my favorite is the rice bowl with groundnut soup.
Okay. Finally, you have a language cafe. You coordinate a language cafe. You've picked a couple of Twi words or Twi sentences. Let's hear them.
What do you want me to say?
Anything.
Okay. Anything, okay. Within the Jennifer, we're free the Netherlands. Now I forgot what I wanted to say. I wanted to say something beyond the basics, but I forgot.
Just go with the basics until it comes, don't worry.
Okay, yes, I know.
Okay,
no, it's still the basics. It's still the basics.
Okay, you can start now.
Yes, okay, I will just start again. Within the Jennifer, me free the Netherlands. Meti twi kakra kakra. Was that long enough? Or do you want me to say more?
Keep going. Say like 3 words.
That was 3 whole sentences.
Give me more. Give me a little bit more.
No, this was it. I'm really bad at thinking that, and also it doesn't come more because it's not like when you start a language and then while you are speaking it, you remember more, because learning the Twi is different from how I would learn the French.
Yes.
You can't have the same learning process.
Yeah.
And just in general, even in Dutch, if you would have asked me this, it would have been awkward.
Yeah.
Just okay, lots of people do that.
Yeah.
And in Dutch, they even will come back after me and say, "Oh, I just heard this." I'm like, I didn't even use that one.
Yeah.
Because I will pick something that doesn't have that letter.
True.